super smooth. We got official. See you, buddy. Okay, as promised, we are going to get into the drag of this reel. The last 3 videos we have taken off this side plate here and done 3 different things: our cogwheel, worm gear, and the bearings. So now we're going to get into the real meat and potatoes here. We'll take this side here off. Now, you don't have to take the whole thing off. I'm going to show you how you can just take this side plate off. But starting off, we do have to take off the handle. Just a little plastic cover there. I believe it's a 10 millimeter, but I just happen to have this wrench here. Take that off. Go ahead and make sure your drag is as loose. Actually, you want to take that drag and just run it up, because this will keep your spindle from turning. The actual reel. Now there is this little clip right here. There's a little C clip. You have to be really careful with that one, because it will fly. So I usually get, I should have waited before I'd done that. You get the corner of your screwdriver in there. Keep your fingers on it. Pull it off like that. See there? Set that aside. And pop the handle off. See this washer right here? Kind of a oval washer, but it's got a bevel in it, or a cup. You can see there how it goes on. So I always just take that off and lay it just the way that it goes back on. You finish taking, you have to hold that spindle. Right there, it'll come right off. Set that aside. Just keep your parts in order. Go ahead and take this one here off. Set that one down. Go ahead and take your 3 screws off out here. I had these loose already. I suggest keeping them snug. Now these don't come all the way out, they stay in there. It's just kind of nice because you don't have to worry about losing them or wondering where they go. So now you got these 2 Phillips screws. Them out, set them aside. Now, if you hold on to that there, okay, I want to show you this. This is really important too. There's a couple washers here. They have bevels also, or cups. They are cupped against each other. See, there's like a little gap in between them. It's important that they go back that way. So I just lay them just the way they came off. Now you can take that right on off. There's also a little sleeve right in here. Sometimes it'll stay in, sometimes it'll fall out. We'll go ahead and pop it out just so you see it. So now we can lay that aside. See, there's that little sleeve. It can only go back on one way, so. Okay, there is our drag assembly. Take that off. You want to watch, sometimes that little washer right there, the little washer, sometimes it'll stick to the back of that. You just don't, you want to make sure you don't lose that. Just want to point that out. So now we can set that aside. So here is the drag. That's what you got. You've got a metal plate here, kind of like a washer. But it's got, it's got its own design. A little cup in it there, a little bevel up there. And there's your first drag. Now these reels, the newer reels are, they're starting to put carbon fiber drags in there. But I'll show you in a minute what is so great about these smooth drags. You got another washer. It's got the little ears on it. Now you could just probably let these all fall off, but I'm just wanting to show you how they go. Got another plate, or another. No, this one's just a flat washer. It's totally flat. No, nothing different about it. Then your last drag washer. Then, actually it's not your last drag. So you got those three there. But then you pull this gear back. Your gear. And you got a little one there. Now the factory one is made out of a different material. I don't know what it is. But in this kit, it will also be carbon. Carbon Tex is what they call it. Which I believe it is a form of carbon fiber. But see, that washer is made out of a different material, like a nylon. So there's the old drag. So this is what we're going to be putting in. And I highly recommend this. I mean, it makes the drag like butter. It is just super smooth. No catching or anything. I couldn't believe the difference it made. Eventually, I plan on doing them all. They're about $10 a kit. I think it's $9 and something, and just a little bit of shipping. Smooth drag. Carbon X drag washers may be used dry or lightly greased. Cow's Universal Drag Grease is recommended. So they do recommend you putting a light coat of grease on it, and they actually make a Cow's Universal Real and Star Drag Grease. Now they also have, or you want the kind that looks like peanut butter. It's a thinner grease. They also have a Cow's that is purple, and it's more like the marine grease that we use. I just got this, so what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of the old drag system. We'll break out this new one. But you can look them up on online. Just Smooth Drag. That's where I got the oil, the bearing oil, the high-speed bearing oil, the greases. I got these little, like the little bearing puller, this little pick. You don't have to have that stuff, but it does make it easier. I have a pretty good collection of these. Abus. Eventually I plan on, you know, upgrading them all when they need it. So I invested in the tools also. Okay. Now if you'll notice, there's 3 of them that are exactly the same size, and then this one is a little bit smaller. So these 3 are exactly the same. And that's a little bit smaller because that goes on the before the gear there. But I just want to show you the difference. This is the factory, and that's the new one. It's got a bigger template, and if you look at the fibers, if you look at the fibers, you can't really tell a whole lot of difference, but I believe that they are stiffer. I don't know, thicker maybe, I don't know. So all I know is they are really, really good. So they recommend just putting a light coat on them. So I just take my finger, dab it on there, get it on your fingers. Just kind of put a real nice light coat on there. I do them all up first. Okay, get them all greased up. I'm gonna wipe off any old stuff that's on your, might be in your gear there. So we start with the smaller one. It's the only small one in the pack. Put that down. Put your gear on. The beveled up side goes down. You want your gap, or your just snaps into place. So what happens when you turn that star drag, it just pushes all these together. So start over here with your second carburet fiber, your second drag, then the plain flat washer, another drag, the washer with the little ears, and they have a spot to go into. Those little ears do. Your other washer, or your other drag, and then your washer like this, the little bevel thing up. There it is. So that's all there's to it. Now, put this back on here. Take your spacer, put it down there, on there. And you take your cover, line it up, make sure that your engage button is in the little slot. We'll get these screws here started. Got a weather or learn to believe. Been having some high winds around here. I'm not snugging these all the way just yet. I want to get these little Phillips screws in here. Like to snug them up or get them down and then push and give a really good crank on them. And we can finish these ones same way. Don't do it kind of like a tire. Okay. We put our little washers back in there. Remember, they got like a little, put the cups together. See, then we can put our star drag on. And you gotta be careful with that, not to cross thread it. Once you get it, they got really fine threads, so now you might have to pull out as you're turning to get that down there to where it starts grabbing. There, now it grabbed. All right, now we put this washer here, or no. We probably should have put that little cap on before we put the star on. It is just a hair easier, but it's not that bad. It's your spool tensioner. We put that on. Pretty good to tighten that down, just to get it all kind of seated in, and back it back off a little. Now that's a tip I can give you too, but let's finish getting this back together. Put your handle on, put your nut on. Make sure don't cross thread it either. Put our little keeper spring on, or keeper clip, C-clip, whatever you want to call it. I use a screwdriver to pop that back on too, but still be careful that you don't send it flying. You have to get that nut just right to be able to get that cap back on. There it is. Okay, just see how smooth that drag is. Super smooth. We hope that this video helps someone out. We appreciate you here at Clearview Outdoors. Yeah, I'd like to ask you to like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. We'll catch you on the next video.